Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Red Cross awarded more than $300,000 to build homes for flood survivors. And a new Senate bill wants to make hunting easier for local farmers in an attempt to provide more food security.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Madison Carmouche. We are coming up on 5 a.m. Today is January 12th, 2024. Let's check in with meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Madison. Good morning, everyone. Got another weather system as promised coming in to round out your work week. Harlan, Lecter counties got a high wind warning that's in effect for wind gusts of 60 miles per hour or higher. And then for the rest of us, we've got a wind advisory. It's in effect for gusts approaching, if not exceeding, 50 miles per hour. And again, the wind advisory officially kicks off in 2 hours, 7 a.m., lasts through tonight, and continues until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. We've dropped into the mid-upper 20s and close to 30 in some parts of southeastern Kentucky this Friday morning because of the lack of cloud cover. You look back toward Pulaski County, toward Monticello, warmer temperatures with the incoming cloud cover from the west. Now, maybe a little sunshine here in a couple of hours. We're talking faded sunshine from hazard points east and south. Otherwise, here's the rain. We look down toward Tennessee, though. That's where our shower activity will come as we head through this morning. As our system here continues to wind up and strengthen, and the reason why we've got the issues not only regarding rain coming in, but wind to boot too. So we look for the clouds to thicken up as we hit through the next few hours, and the rain develops mid to late morning. More about the first alert, 7-day forecast, and how cold for how long. That's all coming up in a few moments. Right now, back to Madison.
Tim, thank you. We do want to bring you an update from a deadly crash in Bell County we shared with you yesterday. KSP Post 10 confirms 37-year-old Matthew Estep of Loyal was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the other vehicle was arrested and taken to the Bell County Detention Center. Their identity was not released. US 119 in the Page community is now back open. An East Bernstadt woman was arrested and charged with assault. Laurel County Sheriff John Root confirms. Deputies say the arrest happened Wednesday night off of Highway 3094. When officials got to the scene, they learned an argument turned physical between Wanda Weaver, 59, and her daughter. Weaver was arrested and is facing an assault charge. She was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. The Housing Development Alliance received a grant for more than $300,000. WYMT's RJ Johnson shares the organization's plans for using this money.
With a $335,000 grant from the American Red Cross, the Housing Development Alliance will be able to build 12 new homes for flood survivors in Breathitt, Knott, and Perry counties.
As a nonprofit, especially in Appalachia, we depend on funding from outside organizations, like the Red Cross, and also a lot of funders from all over the country to help us do our work.
HDA Director of Development and Communications, Mindy Miller, says funding like this allows them to help those in the community.
So, there's just a lot of work still yet to be done, obviously. And, with the Red Cross, we've received a substantial grant from them, but we do know that the overall price tag for flood recovery in eastern Kentucky is estimated to be $590 million.
She says they are putting in a lot of effort to help people rebuild their lives.
We're working day and night to make sure that we build them as quick as we can. We've got a great crew. We've actually doubled our crews in the last year.
Miller says this is also helping the families involved.
Each of those 12 families will receive a $20,000 grant towards the building of a new home. So that's a huge amount of help right there for those families.
With the goal of giving 12 more families the keys to their new homes. In Hazard, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Miller says with the grant, 2 families will receive more than $20,000 to help repair their flood-damaged homes. Senate Bill 5 has been approved in the Senate, but is still awaiting approval. The bill will allow land and farm owners with less than 5 acres the right to fish and hunt their own property without a fishing or hunting license. This bill will help to make food security more accessible to those struggling to afford food.
Learning to help support your own your food supply and have more food security, I think, is important to everybody. And I think wild game and fish is an important part of that, as well as, you know, gardening and growing some produce yourself. And I think we have a lot of interest in that right now.
White says the University of Kentucky offers a program that teaches folks how to prepare the state's most popular game. Yesterday, fallen Pikeville police officer Scotty Hamilton was celebrated by the community he served for 12 years as they remembered his life of dedicated sacrifice on a day devoted to his retired badge number. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more about the one who made 111 a number to remember.
One life, one lion heart, one legacy.
The first January after Scotty's passing, you know, the city declared that January 11th, which is 111, that was Scotty's badge number, would be declared Scotty Hamilton Day. Of course, you got the 111 on the front, and then that's a patch. That's his seam of his pants right there and stuff. You know.
Pikeville police officer Scotty Hamilton was shot and killed in the line of duty March 13th, 2018.
He embodied this police department, and he embodied this community. Scotty was a true selfless servant. I went to school with Scotty. We graduated high school together, and even back in high school, you know, everyone referred to Mr. Nice Guy.
Hamilton's family on the force has since worked to celebrate, commemorate, and cement his impact, keeping him alive by continuing his fight, saying he did not get enough days.
Very selfless as a co-worker. Scotty was very selfless as a friend. Scotty put people before him himself, and ultimately Scotty was the most selfless you could ever be by laying down his own life, you know, doing what he did in law enforcement for this community.
So they share his story with the next generations, so that long after the stickers wither and the signs weather,
he'll never be replaced, and we'll never be able to uplift him enough.
Scotty Hamilton will always have his day. In Pikeville, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Officers upheld their tradition of visiting the class of Hamilton's daughter, Brinley, yesterday afternoon, sharing his story and reading to her classmates. They say they want to do everything possible to make sure his daughter always knows who her father was. Thanks for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News this morning. Coming up, Iowa is getting ready for its coldest caucus ever as some voters are split on who they're supporting.
And in the weather department on this Friday, guess what? Another system that's coming into play, a wind advisory for most of us. So a high wind warning for a couple of counties. All the details with the first alert 7-day forecast coming up right after this.